Today, we are going to be looking at the brand new Warrior 3 from Olight. Now this is a brand new model from Olight. It's an upgrade to their previous M2R Pro Warrior. Now it has three major upgrades. The first being the lumen count. The new one has a max output of 2300 lumens as opposed to 1800 lumens. Now something to note that when you upgrade the lumens without changing the battery, you're going to downgrade the runtime. It's just the way it goes. So even though the Warrior 3 has a higher lumen output, it does have less runtime than the M2R Pro. So the M2R Pro had 4.5 minutes at max output, whereas the new one only has 2.5 minutes at its max output. But the second thing that's worth noting as an upgrade in the Warrior 3 is the fact that it has two brand new indicators for both the output and the battery life, very similar to the Seeker 2 Pro. And the third upgrade is the enhanced tail cap that allows it to be compatible with remote tape switch. Okay, let's go ahead and open her up. Now, like many of their higher-end lights, this has the magnetic opening box, which is always kind of nice. There's an inner tab here that tells me to take out the insulating film. I'm just going to remove this thing here. Okay, so standard message from Olight team. Thank you for being part of our Olight family. Your support is why we do this. Enjoy. So as you can see, just like the previous M2R Pro Warrior, has a very similar holster. So I'm going to go and take out the holster with the light. Let's go ahead and see what else comes in the box. So just looking here, you can see you get a manual as well as charging cable. Okay. Onto the light itself. Okay, so right off the bat I can tell that the push button is flush with the rim of the buttons, which is kind of nice because it's less likely that you're going to accidentally turn it on. The previous model had its button protruding a little bit, so you would there's more of a chance you would accidentally turn it on. I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastic film that comes when they ship it. Okay, this little tab here. Just gonna remove this. Let's check out the inside. So the battery looks the same as the old one. It's a 5,000 milliamp battery, 3.6 volts. It's got a nice spring in there to absorb some of the shock if you drop it on its head. Also has a loaded spring back here. Nice lubricated threads to prevent the O-ring from drying out, as well as helping you screw the tail cap back on. Now, just like the M2R Pro, this has a two-way clip, so you can clip something on this way as well as this other way. But you could also take this clip off and clip it onto this rim right here. So you could carry it deep down in your pocket if you wanted to. All right. So as I was saying, one of the key differences with this Warrior 3 versus the M2R Pro is the fact that you can see it has two sets of LEDs, one for the brightness output and another one for the battery life. So this has two ways of activating the light. There's the tail switch and there's the side switch. Now the tail switch only has two modes that you can get to, whether it's medium and turbo, or if you're in the tactical mode, the modes are turbo and strobe. But you can get to all 6 modes using the side switch. So you can get to moonlight, low, medium, high, turbo, and strobe, all with the side switch. So we can go ahead and turn it on to low, and to turn it on to low from off, you just press and hold this button until the light comes on to low. There we go. This is low. This is 1 lumen. And what's really cool about this level is that this light can shine for up to 55 days, whereas the M2R Pro Warrior only shined for about 50 days. So it's a 5-day improvement, which isn't much, but it could mean a big thing if you have to use it. Now if I want to bump it up 1 level, so this is 15 lumens. You can cycle through the modes, so this is going to be about 200 lumens, which is equivalent to what you would get if you half press the tail switch. And this is high, which is 800 lumens. And to get to turbo, from the side switch, you double click it. So this is supposedly turbo. I don't know how bright it is since the battery is not fully charged. But to get to strobe from the side switch, you triple click. So 1, 2, 3, and then it's in strobe from the side switch. Now you can also activate the light from the tail switch, but using the tail switch, it only has 2 modes. So there's basically there's a standard and there's the turbo. So a standard output is a half press, and then to get to turbo you do a full press. In the tactical mode, when you press it halfway it'll go into turbo, but when you press it full it'll go into strobe. And the way you get from regular mode to tactical mode is you hold down the tail switch and then you tap the side switch. So just like this. Just like so. So now it's in tactical mode. Okay? So turbo, strobe, turbo, strobe. Just like that. Now to get it back into regular mode, you just do the same thing. So you hold down the tail switch and you tap the side switch. So now you're just back in regular mode with medium and high. Now the third upgrade that I mentioned is the fact that it has an upgraded tail cap, which will allow the use of the newer lockable tape switch, the remote tape switch. Like if you wanted to mount it on a rifle, you could then lock it in place. And that's made possible by this little ledge you can see right here. Now to illustrate better what I'm talking about, this is the older M2R Pro Warrior here. Now as you can see, if you compare the tail caps, this is the older M2R Pro, and this is the newer Warrior 3. Now as you can see, this Warrior 3 has this extra ledge right here. See that? That allows the remote tape switch to lock on to the tail cap. Whereas the M2R Pro, it's completely smooth. There's no extra ledge or anything for it to lock onto. So this is the other upgrade that I was talking about. This is obviously an optional accessory that you would get if you wanted to mount it to a rifle. But anyways, so the way this works is you would essentially take this little portion right here and you would lock it. It's a magnetic contact initially, but there's also an additional lock, as you can see, that puts it in place so this thing's not going anywhere. So in order to take it off, you'd have to unlock it, and then you can pull it off. But once it's locked in there, it's not going anywhere. Now, the cool thing about this this upgraded the remote tape switch, is the fact that there's a low and a high instead of just a high, which I think is very useful, because you might not always want to use the high mode, especially when you're indoors. You can do low or the high. Now, if you want to do momentary, you just hold down low, and then it's momentary. As long as you hold it for like more than a second, it's momentary. But if you just tap it, it'll stay on, constant. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the charger, and then I'm going to take it outside to show you what it can do. Alright guys, I'm out here with the Warrior 3 from Olight. And just to give you some context, this close tree right here is about 20 yards out. This tree right here in the middle, to the top of the high tree in the middle, is about 50 yards out. And the tree back there is about 130 yards out. Okay, so just for some context. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start this guy out on Moonlight. So I'm going to hold it down. So as you can see, this is the output level, the battery level. So this is on moon level. This is the very first level. So this is going to be just 1 lumen. It's going to last about 55 days. Bumping it up 1 more notch. This is actually going to be the official low. So the official low barely makes it out to 20 yards. But it's really for up close, not that much distance on this one. This is going to be about 15 lumens. I'm going to go ahead and bump it up 1. So as you can see, the 2 dots on this side, it's going to be about medium, which is going to be about 200 lumens, which is also equivalent to pressing the tail switch halfway. So as you can see, at 50 yards, it lights it up pretty nicely. 100 yards, 130 yards, I think it makes it out there. It's kind of hard to see at this distance though, but yeah, 50 yards, no problem at all. I can see that very clear. And of course the 20 yards is absolutely not a problem. I'll go ahead and bump it up 1 more time. Okay, so as you can see, 3 dots, this means it's on high, which is about 800 lumens. So 800 lumens, yeah, it makes it out to 130 yards nicely. And of course, the closer ranges are absolutely not a problem at all. Shine it around here. Lights up a whole lot of area. It's got a TIR lens. Alright, now to get to turbo, I'm going to have to go ahead and double click on the side switch here. So this is turbo. As you can see, all 4 lit up. This is going to be the full 2300 lumens. So yeah, 50 yards, not a problem. 130 yards, absolutely not a problem. And of course 20 yards is going to border on washing out some of the branches over there. Yeah, I'm just going to shine this around a little bit. As you can see. So this is the Warrior 3 by Olight. If you like this kind of content, give me a like, give me a subscribe, share this video, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.